Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. And in today's video, we are talking about weapons. Yesterday, I showed you guys all of the different armor sets you can get for the 3 different classes in the beta. So of course, if you haven't seen that, I will then link that down below. But today, I want to do the same sort of thing for the weapons, show you guys all the different options we have available, kinetic, energy, and power, take a look at their perks, and give you guys a brief look at them in action, firing, reloading, all that kind of usual weapon goodness. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think, and also let me know what your current loadout is when you're running in, whether it be PvE or PvP. I know everyone's got their kind of favourites. I, for one, am really loving the SMGs right now, but I also know that, say, the pulse rifles are particularly popular. So let me know what you guys are running with. It'd be really cool to sort of see how everyone's loadouts are different. But to begin with, there are a total of 7 kinetic weapons, one of which is exotic. There are 9 energy weapons, 2 of which are exotic, and there are 6 power weapons. All of them are legendary, and depending on the class you create, they all begin with a pre-made sort of selection of weapons, and of course the remaining weapons you don't have can be dropped in both the Crucible and also PvE. For the most part, you will get access to most of these weapons just by having the 3 different classes, but there are a few select ones, for example the linear fusion rifle, a power weapon, that of course needs to be collected. But anyway, we're going to start off in the kinetic category with one of my favourite weapons, and this is the Scathelocke auto rifle. Now, I've always liked auto rifles, and of course, if in Destiny 1, if you guys play that, you know that auto rifles, you know, even though they've been through balance passes, they're not necessarily the best weapon type, so it's really refreshing just to kind of go back into Destiny 2 beta, jump in the Crucible, have fun with this. Honestly, I've been using this as my primary in basically everything, and I just really enjoy using it. It's got the intrinsic perk Adaptive Frame, where you get a well-rounded grip, reliable and sturdy. You have 3 different sights, either IS-5 Circle, the Modulate Red, which is the one that I'm running with at the moment, and also the Mark 10 Glass. I actually really like the Mark 10 Glass sight. It is a more sort of long-range zoom sight, but I just like how it looks. It looks kind of like an ACOG scope, but I have been running with this one for the time being. You also have high caliber rounds, where shots from this weapon knock the target back, and it also slightly increases range. And you also have Tactical Mag, where this weapon has multiple tactical improvements, slightly increases stability, reload speed, and magazine size. And finally, under pressure, you get improved stability and accuracy as the magazine gets lower. Next up, we have the Better Devil's Hand Cannon. This is actually a pretty potent weapon. I'm going to be pretty quick on most of these weapons since we do have a lot to go through. Of course, don't forget in the bottom right corner, you can see the stats, but this one I've actually had some pretty good success with in the Crucible. It seems to be pretty good on the sort of aim assist front, and I've found that there are some shots that I thought I probably wasn't going to hit, and it still seemed to pick them up, so I'm not sure whether that was a latency thing or the weapon's just being over generous, but either way, pretty good if you guys like hand cannons. This is a nice one to use. The intrinsic perk for this one is also a well-rounded grip, so reliable and sturdy. Your 3 sights are either the Fast Draw HCS, the Steady Hand HCS, or the Sure Shot HCS. Your middle color options are either Extended Mag, where the weapon has a greatly increased magazine size, but it reloads slower, so increased mag size, slower reload speed. Or you have Drop Mag, where the magazine drops on reload, wasting ammunition, but greatly increase your speed. So whether you want to go more bullets, slower reload, or fewer bullets, faster reload, really depends on, you know, your encounter. And of course, finally you have Explosive Payload, where projectiles create an area of effect detonation on impact. After that, we have a Scout Rifle, Does Not Compute. This one has the intrinsic perk High Impact Frame, slow firing and high damage. This weapon is more accurate when stationary and aiming down sights. Speaking of sights, you have the Red Dot 2 MOA, you have the Rifle Scope ST, or you have the Rifle Scope SSF. You also have steady rounds, so increased stability, decreased range, or you have Appended Mag, which increases your mag size. And finally, Moving Target, increased movement speed and target acquisition when moving while aiming down sights. So great for strafing and the Crucible, things like that. Again, pretty nice. I'm always a pretty big fan of Scout Rifles, so this one is quite fun to use. Next up, this one is a favourite for a lot of people. This is something that I see pretty much everyone I'm encountering running within the Crucible right now, and that is the Nightshade Pulse Rifle. The intrinsic perk for this one, superb handling, move faster while this is equipped. You obviously have 3 different sights, Red Dot Micro, Red Dot 2 MOA, and also the Rifle Scope. I'm running this one with the default scope. You also have the option for a tactical mag, so increased stability, increased reload speed, and increased magazine size, or armor-piercing rounds, so slightly increase your range, but of course then your stability and your reload speed takes a hit. And finally you have kill clip, where reloading after a kill grants increased damage. So this one is definitely very popular, it's very stable. Of course, if you're using it in the Crucible, then it's quite easy to kind of use it at a decent range as well, so you don't necessarily have to get up super close. And of course, in some of those kind of 3-lane maps, then the last thing you really want to be doing is running up in someone's face unless you're kind of using an SMG. So definitely a very popular choice. This one can of course drop in either the Crucible or in PvE, so if you haven't got it, I would highly recommend farming until you get this one. I recently switched over to this. I did kind of, before that, run kind of double SMGs, but since swapping to this, I have been having much better results. After that, we have the Showrunner, an SMG. Now, I have said I'm a big fan of SMGs. However, most of my favourite SMGs, in fact, my two favourite SMGs are actually Kinetic. So this one here, I have used it. It's not too bad, but it's definitely not my favourite of... In fact, it's probably my least favourite of the SMGs. However, the intrinsic perk for this one, superb handling. You move faster with the weapon equipped. You have 3 different sights, red dot micro, 2 MOA, and also the clean shot IS. Obviously, tactical mag, again, we've seen that before, and also the appended mag. And this one has dynamic sway reduction, where when holding down the trigger, this weapon's sway reduction system boosts accuracy and stability over time, which is of course very useful because SMGs being a very kind of spray and pray weapon, that is going to come in pretty handy. After that, we have a sidearm called the Needle. Now this one here, the intrinsic perk for this, the weapon's recoil pattern is more predictably vertical. Plus you have the Control SAS sight, the Tactic SAS sight, or the Target SAS sight. You then have high caliber rounds, so shots from the weapon knock the target back. And of course you also have the Accurized rounds for increased range. Lastly, you have Zen Moment, causing damage with the weapon increases its stability. I used this for a bit. Sidearms can be pretty potent, but again, similar sort of story to the SMGs. I've had a lot more success with the Kinetic sidearm, which we'll take a look at in a moment, than I did with this one. Then finally, for the Kinetic weapons, you of course have one of the most striking exotics, and that is Sweet Business. This is the one for the Titans. Of course, you get it during the campaign mission. Main perk on this is Payday, so you have a larger magazine and increased accuracy when firing from the hip. You also have Polygonal Rifling, where the barrel is optimized for recoil reduction, increased stability. You have high caliber rounds, so shots from the weapon knock the target back, slightly increase your range. You have Business Time, love the name of that perk. Holding down the trigger boosts the weapon's range and rate of fire and automatically loads ammo pickups into the magazine. Very, very nice. And of course, composite stock. The weapon has a versatile dual-purpose stock, slightly increase your stability and your handling speed. Honestly, this is probably one of the most fun weapons to mess around with.
The Red Legion has compromised this planet's crust. My scouts report multiple seismic events across the surface.
Analyzing radio chatter. Commander, I believe the Legion...
After that, moving over to the Kinetic options. Now, these are of course the weapons that carry the elements, so starting off again with a hand cannon, this is the Minuet 42. It is a Suros hand cannon. It has an adaptive frame again. We also have the Steady Hand HCS sight, the True Sight HCS sight, or the Crossfire HCS. Your middle color options are the Drop Mag and also Flared Magwell, so increased reload speed. And you have Opening Shot for improved accuracy and range on the opening shot of the attack. And of course, in this instance, this one deals solar damage. After that, we have the Deathstalker 4AU. This is the auto rifle, a Viced auto rifle. I am a huge fan of the Viced Foundry. It's a new foundry introduced in Destiny 2. I'm loving the kind of like black and green color scheme that a lot of the weapons have, or all the weapons have. And this one is actually a lot of fun to use. As mentioned before, I'm having a lot of fun using auto rifles. It's just kind of nice to be able to bring them back and actually have them be pretty viable. So this one's pretty good. This one deals solar damage. The intrinsic perk for this one is you get deeper ammo reserves and slightly faster reload when the magazine is empty. So of course you want to spray that until it's done. You then have Arrowhead Brake, which helps control the recoil, and you get increased handling speed. You get the extended barrel for increased range and decreased handling speed, or you get the fluted barrel for increased handling speed and increased stability. Your middle column is Accurized rounds or steady rounds. And then finally, your dynamic sway reduction. Again, we've seen that before. When you hold down the trigger, the weapon's sway reduction system boosts accuracy over time. So the longer you fire it, so great for, say, firing and strafing. But again, a very nice weapon. This one's just really satisfying to like listen to and just to watch being fired. After that, jumping over to quite possibly my favourite weapon in the entire beta. If I had to pick one weapon above all else, that is my standout favourite, it is this gun, the Phosphorus MG4. It's a submachine gun. I actually want to give a massive shout out to Briasm from my stream the other day. Up until this point, I typically ran the Red Mamba, which we'll check out next. And I tried this for a little bit, didn't have too much success. Then he recommended a different perk loadout, and it completely changed the game. So the intrinsic perk for this one, of course, lightweight frame, so superb handling, move faster when the weapon is equipped. That seems to be a running theme for SMGs. Two different sights, the Candle PS, so greatly increases handling speed and increased range, or increased range and slightly increases handling speed. And this is the one that I've favoured. Your middle column options are either alloy magazine, so faster reload when the magazine is empty, not really that important. Steady rounds, so this increases stability and slightly decreases range. That seems to be like the one that we typically think would make sense, because of course, stability on an SMG could be quite nice, but phase magazine, increased damage while lowering the rate of fire. This definitely makes a big difference. Of course, it does decrease the magazine size, but when having this in place, I had considerably better results. Prior to that, I was running the steady rounds, and I was having mixed results with this weapon, but throwing on the phase magazine, it completely changed the way that I used it. And finally, you have dynamic sway reduction. Again, holding down the trigger, more stability. So these two things combined, actually a very nice combination. I've always loved the way that Omolon weapons look. This just looks like kind of a super soaker for any guys that know that that water gun brand. But love Omolon design. This one deals solid damage. It looks really, really cool. Probably one of the most striking weapons out there. And honestly, it is just so much fun to use. Of course, your other option for the SMG, and the one that I was using before I discovered the Phosphorus MG4, and that is of course the Red Mamba 3MG, another one from the Vice Foundry. Partly the reason I chose it because I was like, it's green, it looks cool. But intrinsic perk again, same thing, lightweight frame. Your options down here, arrowhead brake, full bore, or chambered compensator. You also have steady rounds, and you have high caliber rounds, and tap the trigger, where this grants a short period of increased stability and accuracy on the initial trigger pull. So that means, of course, if you're firing at a slightly longer range, at least on the initial shot, you might have a little bit better results. Of course, this one deals arc damage. We then have the second pulse rifle available in the beta. This one is the Nergal PR4. It is an Omolon pulse rifle, and this is probably my favourite of the two. This is the one that I kind of initially clicked with when I was trying to sort of get into pulse rifles. The Nightshade, I know a lot of people kind of prefer that one, but that's the one that at first I wasn't too keen on it. I've kind of obviously since changed my mind, but this one, when I first picked it up, I was like, yes, this is a really, really cool weapon. It handles nicely. It's just like, has good results. So this is another one of those two. Like, generally speaking, pulse rifles in the beta have been pretty strong. So whether you have Nightshade, whether you have the PR4, both of them will kind of do you well. But this one I am particularly impressed with. The lightweight frame, of course, superb handling, move faster when it's equipped. You have the Torch HS3 sight or the Flash HS3 sight. You have options between ricochet rounds, so rounds ricochet off hard surfaces, increases your stability and slightly increases your range. Plus, you also have steady rounds, where this magazine is optimized for recoil control, and it also greatly increases your stability or decreases your range. And finally, you have full auto trigger system, so holding down the trigger will fire this weapon in full auto. So for those of you guys that kind of want to bridge the gap between pulse and auto, then this may well be the one for you. This also deals void damage.
I have prepared backdoors into several key VEX systems. We have detected a series of seismic disruptions. The Cabal may be responsible.
We need to know what we do. Yours are the boots on the ground, Guardian.
Moving over to the sidearm, again on the Vice front, this very, very noticeable green design. This is the sidearm that I said I had better results with when compared to the Needle. If I used both of them in PvP, and this one I actually had some pretty decent results with. It is a bit situational, at least for me personally. I'm not one that's always used sidearms. Maybe for the hand cannon users out there, or if you use sidearms in Destiny 1, you might have better results. But me personally, I prefer SMGs or pulses or things like that. However, of the two sidearms in the beta, this is the one that I like most. You have lightweight frame, you also have the Tactic SAS, the Target SAS, or the Farpoint SAS sights. You have steady rounds or tactical mag, and you have outlaw, so precision kills greatly decrease your reload time. And this one deals solar damage. Moving on from there, we have the Black Scorpion 4SR. This is a Viced scout rifle. This also looks pretty damn awesome. The intrinsic part for this one is full auto, so deeper ammo reserves, slightly faster reload when the magazine is empty. You then have the options between full bore for greatly increased range, decreased stability, and a slight decrease to handling speed, fluted barrel, increased handling speed and stability, or arrowhead brake for greatly controlled recoil and an increase to handling speed. You then have tactical mag, or you have steady rounds, so greatly increases your stability and decreases your range. And then finally you have moving target, increased movement speed and target acquisition whilst moving while aiming down sights. So again, good for strafing. And this one deals arc damage. Of course, after that, turning our attention to another one of the exotics. This is the one that the hunter will get, of course, playing through the first campaign mission. You interact with the weapon rack, and the hunter will get the Sunshot, which is a really cool looking hand cannon. Of course, prior to this, I had done a video on it back during the gameplay reveal, but I didn't have the option to inspect the perks, and of course, now we actually get a little bit of a better look at that. So, Sunburn, this weapon fires explosive rounds and highlights targets that take damage from Sunshot. You also have Chambered Compensator, so increased stability, improves recoil direction, and slightly decreases handling speed. You have Accurized Rounds for increased range. You have Sunblast, where targets killed with Sunshot explode in solar energy, so kind of like Firefly. And you have Textured Grip, so greatly increases handling speed, slightly decreases stability. Then lastly, for the energy weapons, another one of the really awesome looking weapons. I mean, obviously it's an exotic. Exotics are always designed to look really awesome, but some of these designs are incredible. I love the spikes on this. I love the color scheme on this. The sort of energy cores at the back. All this stuff, this is a very cool looking weapon. This is the Risk Runner SMG, so of course it also gets bonus points from me for being an SMG. Main perk being the Arc Conductor, so when taking arc damage, this weapon becomes more powerful and resists incoming arc damage, so kills extend the time in the overcharged state, so that is very useful. Almost kind of encourages risky play, just like stand there and be like, shoot me so I can become more powerful. You also have Arrowhead Brake, so greatly controls your recoil, increased handling speed. Extended Mag, so increases your magazine size, decreases reload speed. You have Superconductor, when the Arc Conductor is active, shots fired have the chance to become Chain Lightning and return ammo. And finally, Short Action Stock. This weapon is especially easy to grip, greatly increase your handling speed. Then finally moving over to the power weapon slot. Starting with the Copperhead 4SN, the Sniper Rifle. This one has rapid fire frame, so deeper ammo reserves, slightly faster reload when the magazine is empty, so again, firing until it's done. Full bore, small bore, or Arrowhead Brake. Your middle column is either the tactical mag, so again, increased stability, increased reload speed, and increased magazine size. Or alternatively, if reload speed is really that important, you can go flared magwell for an even faster reload. And as for your final perk, Firmly Planted, this is increased your accuracy, stability, and handling when fired when crouched. So if you really want to embrace the sniper mindset, then crouch and use this gun.
Let's see how the Red Legion plans to kill civilians, Guardian.
You then have the Morrigan D rocket launcher. Now this one, I haven't typically used it too much. I've used it a couple of times. The main reason I don't use it is because when you pick up power ammo, you tend to get 1 to 2 rockets versus, say, if you have a grenade launcher, you get a lot more. Or if you have a sniper rifle, you have considerably more bullets, fusion rifle, shotgun, those kind of things. So honestly, I found that the rocket launcher, at least with the kind of current power ammo economy, hasn't really been the best choice. But your intrinsic perk for this, of course, being a hacker weapon, hacker precision frame. The weapon fires a small auto-tracking missile. Missiles lock onto targets when aimed, which is handy, especially if you've only got one shot. You also have the option between confined launch, where this weapon's launch parameters are particularly stable, greatly increases stability, increases blast radius, and decreases projectile speed. Or you go for volatile launch, which increases the blast radius, decreases the handling speed, and decreases the projectile speed. You have alloy casing, so greatly increases your reload speed and decreases your stability. Or you have high velocity rounds for increased projectile speed and reload speed. And finally, snapshot sights, faster time to aim down sights. You then have the Acantha D grenade launcher, another hacker weapon. Now grenade launchers, I really want to like them, and it'd be interesting to kind of hear what you guys have to say about them. I've found that I've had limited success with them. I'm trying to find situations where I would actively want to use a grenade launcher. I found that the arc kind of isn't necessarily always that reliable, plus sometimes the shots just bounce past your targets. So especially in the Crucible, I don't think I would ever really kind of use this, but even in PvE, I feel like I would rather go for something slightly more reliable, either just use a sniper or maybe even a rocket launcher if I can kind of get more rounds. So I like grenade launchers, but I haven't really found a position right now where I would actively use them over say, other weapons. But either way, aggressive frame, high damage, high recoil, you have volatile launch, or you have confined launch, once again. You have mini frags, where grenades are smaller and more compact for easier reloading, increased magazine size and reload speed, or you have thermoplastic grenades, where the grenades fired from this weapon bounce further, you get increased stability and projectile speed, and you have pulse monitor, which automatically reloads a portion of the magazine when the wielder is critically wounded. After that, you have the main ingredient, the fusion rifle. This is also another popular choice. In fact, this is probably one of the go-tos for the Crucible. I've seen a lot of people running with the sniper rifle, but also the fusion rifle. Fusion rifle seems to have some of the most kind of reliable results. Of course, it's got pretty decent range, and it's just, generally speaking, if you can hit it, a one-shot kill. So, precision frame, the weapon's recoil pattern is more predictably vertical. Plus, you have the red dot 2 MOA, clean shot IS, or the hit mark IS. You also have enhanced battery, so stronger battery life increases your magazine size, or you have liquid coil, so slower building charge for higher damage. Increased impact damage, slower charge time. So probably going to be the one that you want to go with. And of course also Rampage kills this weapon temporarily grant increased damage, stacks up to 3 times. So if you think about a Crucible match, when you get the power ammo and you have a few shots with this, then provided you can kind of get people close up, you can actually get some pretty good damage out of this.
We have detected a series of seismic disruptions. The Cabal may be responsible.
We need to know what we're dealing with. Yours are the boots on the ground, Guardian.
Moving on from there to the shotguns. For those of you guys that are still hanging on to the Destiny 1 feel, there is the Retro Futurist shotgun, also pretty potent in the Crucible, another kind of favourite for a lot of people. I think mainly because things like shotguns and fusion rifles tend to just get more out the power ammo. You have more bullets, you can make it go further, so pretty useful. Either way, you have a lightweight frame with this. You also have full choke, polygonal rifling, or you have smooth bore. You then also have the appended mag for increased magazine size, or the assault mag for increased stability and increased rate of fire. And finally, you have auto-loading holster, so the holster weapon is automatically reloaded after a short period of time. So pretty useful if you're running around the corner, throw it in your pocket, then get it back out, and then job done.
All along the planet's crust, I believe the Red Legion is to blame. Hey, who wants to bet the facts will tear us all apart, right?
And then finally, for the power weapons, this is probably my favourite one. Not necessarily because it's the best, it's new, it's cool, it's another Viced weapon, it's got a really, really awesome design, and that is the Tarantula 3FR. This is a linear fusion rifle, one of the new weapon archetypes being introduced in Destiny 2. It is, I guess, similar in that respect to sort of the Sleeper Simulant. It's a fusion rifle, but it fires, more linearly, and of course, with that in mind, you can use it to crit. Main perk here, of course, the intrinsic perk being the precision frame, fires a long-range precision energy bolt. This weapon's recoil pattern is more predictably vertical. You then have the options between hammer-forged rifling for increased range, small bore for increased range and stability, or corkscrew rifling for increased range and stability and an increase to handling speed. You then have the particle repeater, where this constrains the recoil for every bolt, increases your stability, or you have the projection fuse for increased range. And finally, snapshot sights, faster time to aim down sights. So again, this is pretty useful. I use this a little bit in, say, some of the strikes. It's great because you can crit with it, so it's another power weapon capable of dishing out some serious damage, and of course taking advantage of that at the same time.
Conducting some sort of research?
Huh. Even their scientists are fools.
So, there you have it. That, my friends, is a look at all the weapons currently available in the Destiny 2 beta. Apologies the video was a little bit longer, but hopefully that's given you guys a look at perks, what they sound like, look like, all that good stuff. So if you did enjoy this, like, it'd be super appreciated. Again, be sure to let me know what your favourite weapons are down below. And thanks for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.